Imagine stepping on the scale one morning and seeing a number so high it feels like a prison sentence. For Angus Barbieri, a 27-year-old man from Scotland in the mid-1960s, that number was nearly 207 kilos, 456 pounds. He wasn't just overweight. He was trapped in his own body, struggling with fatigue, low energy, and a sense of hopelessness. Diets hadn't worked. Cutting calories felt pointless. Exercise was painful and humiliating. And so, when doctors at the University of Dundee suggested something radical, something no one thought was even possible, Angus said yes. The plan was as simple as it was terrifying. Stop eating. Not for a day, not for a week, but for as long as his body could survive on its own fat reserves. At first, the doctors expected him to last a few days, maybe a week, but Angus had other plans. With only water, black coffee, tea, and vitamin supplements, he set out to see how far he could go. What began as a medical experiment quickly became one of the most extreme journeys of human endurance ever recorded. And for the next 382 days, Angus Barbieri lived without food. The early days of Angus's fast were full of hunger pangs and doubts. Imagine your stomach growling, your body begging for food while you tell yourself no. Just water, just tea, just another day. The first week was brutal. He felt weak, lightheaded, restless. But then something strange happened. After the initial storm, the hunger faded. His body switched gears, burning stored fat like fuel. Doctors monitored him closely, checking his blood sugar, electrolytes, and organ function. To their amazement, he remained stable. His blood sugar dropped, but never fatally. His body was eating itself, but in a controlled way. As days turned into weeks, Angus adapted. His life became routine. Water, black coffee, vitamins, and checkups. He even went to work at his father's fish and chip shop, surrounded by the smell of fried food, yet never taking a bite. Instead of weakening him, the fast sharpened his focus. He said he stopped thinking about food altogether. "I just forgot about eating," he told doctors later. His body was shrinking, but his determination was growing. The man who once felt trapped had discovered a strange kind of freedom. The freedom of control. By the end of the first month, Angus had already lost over 20 kilos. The changes were dramatic. His clothes hung loose. His face looked different in the mirror, yet his energy levels, against all odds, remained steady. He came in regularly to the hospital for checkups and blood tests, and doctors scratched their heads. They'd never seen anything like it. They gave him yeast supplements for protein, potassium tablets to protect his heart, and vitamins to prevent deficiencies. Otherwise, his body did the work. As months rolled by, Angus's fast became more than a medical curiosity. It became a phenomenon. Newspapers covered the story. People began calling him the man who forgot how to eat. Some were amazed, others horrified. Was this bravery or madness? Doctors warned against others trying the same, but Angus seemed unstoppable. By 6 months in, he had lost over 100 kilos. He was half the man he used to be, literally. And yet, he carried on. Friends and family encouraged him, cheering him on as he defied every expectation. The doctors who once thought he'd last a week were now watching history unfold in real time. But make no mistake, it wasn't easy. Angus faced constant temptations, family dinners, holidays, celebrations. All of it passed him by. He sat at tables without eating, drank water while others dug into meals, and told himself not yet. Every bite he refused was another victory, but also another test. He dreamed of food. He craved toast, eggs, fruit, yet somehow he resisted. The mental battle was as intense as the physical one. Still, his body held on. Instead of collapsing, his health improved. His blood pressure normalized. His diabetes symptoms disappeared. Doctors were stunned. A man once at death's door was now walking proof of the human body's resilience. By month 9, Angus had become a different person. His friends barely recognized him. His skin hung loose from the massive weight loss, but his eyes were brighter. He laughed more. He felt alive again. The fast wasn't just reshaping his body, it was reshaping his spirit. And still he hadn't eaten a single bite. Day after day, he marked his calendar. Each sunrise was another reminder. He was winning. Finally, after 382 days, more than a full year, the experiment ended. Angus had lost 125 kilos. He walked into the hospital a different man than the one who had first agreed to the fast. From 207 kilos, he had dropped to just 82, a healthy weight for his height. The transformation was staggering. The doctors, still stunned, decided to mark the occasion with a meal, and after more than a year without food, Angus sat down to eat his first bite, a boiled egg, followed by a slice of bread with butter and a cup of coffee. Simple, modest, but to him it was a feast. He savoured it, slowly, almost reverently. That first meal wasn't just nourishment, it was victory. He had proven the impossible, that the human body could go over a year without food, fueled only by determination, medical supervision, and fat reserves. His fast remains the longest ever medically recorded. And remarkably, the weight didn't come back. Angus kept the pounds off for years, living a normal life without slipping into his old habits. He wasn't just a man who fasted, he was a man who rewrote what people thought was possible. Angus Barbieri's story isn't just about weight loss. It's about endurance, about the limits of human willpower and the surprising adaptability of the human body. He showed that survival isn't always about eating more, but sometimes about stopping completely. Of course, his fast is not something to copy. Doctors today warn that such an extreme diet could be dangerous, even deadly without supervision. But Angus's journey was carefully monitored, and his results stunned the medical world. His story still circulates today, half legend, half cautionary tale. Some see it as proof of discipline, others see it as madness wrapped in luck. But whatever you call it, it's unforgettable. Angus didn't just lose weight, he gained a new life. And maybe that's the deeper lesson. Change doesn't always look safe or comfortable. Sometimes it looks impossible. Sometimes it requires breaking every rule, every expectation. Angus Barbieri broke them all, and survived 382 days to tell the tale. His life reminds us that the human spirit, when pushed to the edge, can achieve things that sound unbelievable. And maybe that's what makes his story timeless. Not just that he lived without food, but that he proved you can fight your way out of the prison you build for yourself, one impossible day at a time.